Hey BookTube, it's Allie, also known as Allie's Books and Creativity. I am officially back and it's April of 2025. I was away in March because I was dealing with health physically, so I had to take care of that. And then I just decided to take a mental health break off YouTube recording. So now I'm back to give you all the book entertainment and everything you want to know. And further ado, let's get started. So, before I make the announcement of the video title, I just want everyone to know the stuff I originally had planned for March is still coming. I just have to kind of work around my schedule a little bit and kind of do some tweaking here and there with my schedule. I think I have one that was originally planned for March coming hopefully this month. I don't have it officially planned out yet, but I'm aiming it for this month, which is April. And that is not an April Fool's joke, so please do not think that, because I'm not doing April Fools this year. And some might be pushed till May. I don't know. I have to go through my notes and see what I have written down because it's been a while. It's been a month. So, yeah. Further ado, let's get to the title. The title of this video is, drumroll, Stories I Devoured in March of 2025. So I have completed, according to my phone's upside down, according to my phone notes, I have devoured 14 stories, which is 5 books, 1 TV show, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 movies. It was 14 stories devoured. Is pretty active. So, and further ado, let's get this party started. The first story I devoured in March of 2025 was Dungeons and Drama by Christy Boyce. Let me just put on my other hand so it's more visible. So Dungeons and Drama by Christy Boyce. It's like a Dungeons and Dragon retelling in romance, but there's really no fantasy. This one's more like a fake dating relationship where how can I word it? I don't know how to word it with spoilers. All I know, the only thing I can share you that's not too spoilery is the main character. She part-time works at her dad's shop, and she meets a guy, and she's trying to get away from a crazy ex-boyfriend, so they decide to fake date to get the ex-boyfriend to stay far ends away from her so he can get the hint. So that's what I'm going to leave it as. My rating for Dungeons and Drama by Christy Boyce is 4.75 stars. So 4.75 stars. Almost 5 stars. Just almost. I think, I don't remember how I gave it a 4.75. I think it was just because I was a little bit frustrated with the character and the parents in the beginning, how they were trying to bond with each other. And I'm not going to say how. So you have to read and find out. And if you have read it, without any spoilers, put comments down below what you think of Dungeons and Drama. The next story I devoured in March of 2025 it was a movie, and it was Ice Princess on Disney Plus. R.I.P. Michelle Trachtenberg. May you rest in paradise. You were an amazing actress. I grew up not knowing this movie, and I guess my mom bought when I was like in middle school. I think I was 12 years old in the 7th grade. And my mom gave this to me either a birthday present or Christmas present. It was one of the two. And I remember watching it, and I only saw it once as a kid. I thought it was good. I thought it had a good message behind the story. And like it says, big things happen to those who dream big, which is true, which is 100% true. You know, I have a big dream and I'm working on it right now. And that's okay because there's no deadline for a big dream for to work towards. Other than that, I would say Ice Princess. I didn't give the rating a review. Here's the review I gave it to. I gave it a 4.25 stars. I liked it. I just thought it was kind of slow for a little bit, but it was really good. So yeah, that was the first movie watched in March of 2025. The next story I finished and devoured in March of 2025 is a reread, which is Belladonna by Adeline Grace. So originally in my old Goodreads review, I gave it like a 4 out of 5 stars. But this time I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars because I went back, I devoured it again, and I loved it more than I did the first time. So this is definite 5 stars. So I already told you guys about this book, I believe. If you have seen my videos, great. Congratulations, you are a true fan on this account. If not, go to my previous videos and you will see them about what I talk about Belladonna. So now this is a 5 star instead of a 4 star. The next story I devoured in March of 2025 is Gossip Girl season 1 through 6 on Netflix. I binged Gossip Girl the whole month of March. I could not stop. It was that good. Here's how can I word this? So when Gossip Girl first came out, it first came out when I was in middle school, so I was a little too young to watch it. And then when I was in high school, they were already like on season 3. So it was already too late. No, wait. I take it back. I was already on season 2. So I couldn't watch season 1. And back then, Netflix streaming wasn't a thing. It was just renting on DVDs. And that was when Blockbuster was losing business because of Netflix. And I just loved it. I would say my 2 favorite girl characters, my number 1 is Serena because she wanted to do the right thing. Her heart was in the right place. My second favorite girl character is Blair because she was kind of feisty, but she did have good intentions. And I would say my favorite male characters was Dan Humphrey and Nate Archibald. But I was leaning towards more Dan Humphrey. So, yeah. Other than that, I'm not going into further detail. I'm not going to go to the spoilery in any spoilers. If you haven't watched Gossip Girl, it's on Netflix right now. If you have Netflix, they have season 1 through 6. It's only 6 seasons. And trust me, you're going to be addicted. And I couldn't even watch it, a lot of this shows growing up because a lot of these things were banned while I was growing up due to certain things in my life it was due to religious reasons, but that's what I claim. But then they claim it was not a good influence, but I think it was due to religious reasons. But I don't care. I enjoyed it. It was good. All right, moving on. Oh, the rating for Gossip Girl. Oh my gosh, I keep forgetting the ratings today, guys. I'm so sorry. It's a 5 star. It's a 5 star. It's good. It was good. So 5 stars. I would say my favorite season was probably 5. And then my least, I probably would say 2 or 3. One of the 2 I didn't like as much. But season 5 was probably my fave. A lot of crazy things happened at season 5. And season 4 was probably my second favorite. So the more I think about it, it goes first place, season 5, season 4, season 6, season 1, then season 3, and season 2. That's how it goes. So dead last is season 2. But other than that, it was a really good show. All right, moving on. The next story I devoured March 2025 is Mean Girls 2004 version starring Lindsay Lohan, Rachel McAdams, Lacey Chabert, and Amanda Seyfried. This one is my favorite out of all of the Mean Girls. I saw the one last year. I wasn't a fan. I personally think Mean Girls needs to stay away from the musical and just be a regular chick flick for girls. And I know the title sounds bad, but it's actually a really good movie. And do I encourage the behavior in the movie? Absolutely not. But I encourage people to do better. But it is a good movie, and I would say the rating for Mean Girls is 5 stars. Because, oh my gosh, there's so much sabotage happened in this movie. Better watch your back, girls. All right. The next movie I devoured in March of 2025 is The Devil Wears Prada, starring Anne Hathaway and Meryl Streep and Emily Blunt. I love this movie. I watched it on Amazon Prime because it was available for free on Prime. So I was like, all right, why not? I haven't seen this movie for a while. I watched the whole thing. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. It was good. It just shows you how being famous in the fashion industry is not as a saint as other things. And oh my gosh, if you haven't seen The Devil Wears Prada and you're a millennial, you're definitely living under a rock. So this is a 4.5 stars. The next story I devoured in March of 2025 is The Princess Diaries, starring Anne Hathaway and Julie Andrews, and this was on Disney Plus. If you haven't seen The Princess Diaries and you call yourself a 90s baby and 2000 kid, I don't know what you're doing with your life. I think you need to be binge watching things. Unless you don't have a TV and you live like cavemen. So, yeah, I gave this a 4.75 star rating. So 4.75 star rating. And I love this movie. I originally first saw it. I haven't seen it before as a kid. So don't get me wrong. I shouldn't be judging a book by its cover if no one's seen it as a kid. So I shouldn't be talking. But I did see it for the first time 2 years ago. And I saw it again last month in March of 2025. And I was in love all over again. So, yeah, 4.75 stars. So, 4.75 stars for The Princess Diaries. The next story I devoured in March of 2025 is Freaky Friday, starring Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis. What was the rating I gave? I didn't look at the rating. Oh my gosh. Oh, Freaky Friday got, drum roll, a 4.25 star rating. I think, how can I word it got 4.25 instead of a higher rating? I do like, so the pro is, I like how they kind of switch lives, like, get it? Because it's called Freaky Friday. And they switch lives into different their souls go into the different bodies. Like the daughter goes into the mom goes into the daughter, so they know what it's like to live their lives. Like the mom gets to see how the daughter goes and gets treated in school. The daughter goes to, as the mom, to her job and see what it's like for her to have a job and take care of yourself when you're like 40, 50 something years old. And neither side, it was not prepared for this, but I'm not going to say how it happens. You have to watch it if you haven't seen it. And if you haven't watched Freaky Friday, like I said, cavemen. So yeah, Freaky Friday. The con is, I don't like how the daughter was not nice to her mom, and it was not nice to a lot of people. So in the beginning of the movie, but I do like she changes in the end. But I'm not going to say how. You have to find out yourself if you haven't seen it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at you at your computer screen, phone screen, knowing you're guilty not seeing it. Just kidding, just kidding, just kidding. I'm not that biased. All right. I'm gonna continue to the next review. The next story I devoured in March 2025 is Foxglove by Adeline Grace, book 2 of Belladonna. And which is funny because as of today, this is not a joke. I know it's April Fool's Day, but I'm not, like I said, I'm not celebrating it. I am almost done with book 3, and I would say by today or latest tomorrow, I'll be done with book 3. But we're going to focus on book 2 here. Book 2 got a 5-star rating right out the gate. I was like flying through it. I was loving it. I don't know how Adeline Grace was able to pull off a sequel that good. I think this is the first sequel I ever read with Adeline Grace. What was her last book called? I think I have it here somewhere. Oh, I read one book from her and it had a sequel, but I didn't read the sequel, which was called All the Stars and Teeth. I didn't continue that series because the All Stars and Teeth, because I think back then I just didn't have the funding to get the book. And the time I was able to, it wasn't in the bookstore anymore. So I was just like, why bother? So yeah, I might just rent, if I really want to know what happens in the next book, I'll probably just rent it from my Libby app if my Libby app has it. If not, oh well. But I think I like Belladonna more from her than All the Stars and Teeth, the Belladonna series. So yeah, this is a definite 5 stars. This is Belladonna series is a book series and trilogy I highly recommend. If you haven't read it, you haven't read it, stop what you're doing, drop everything, grab the book and binge read. All 3 are out right now. First one's called Belladonna. Second one's called Foxglove. Third one is called Wisteria. And now there's a holiday novella coming around Christmas time called Holly. So it's good time to binge read the 3 before the holiday novella comes out. So yeah, that's my advice. Okay, moving on. The next story I devoured in March of 2025 is 13 Going on 30, starring Jennifer Gardner. Oh, I love this movie. I first saw it as an adult. I didn't see it as a kid, but I heard about it as a kid. I really didn't get into chick flicks until my 20s. So I first saw it originally in my early, I think it was my very early 20s or was it my mid 20s? Doesn't matter. As long as I seen the movie, it's such a good movie. And the rating I gave it. So 13 Going on 30 got a 4.5 stars. I really like this movie. Why is it missing the 0.5? I would say because maybe when I first watched it, it was more magical. And then now since years later, I am like in my early 30s. So maybe I can relate. And I'm just like, why? Why? So yeah, 4.5 stars for 13 Going on 30. The next story I devoured in 2025 is Cinderella 2015 live action on Disney Plus. Like, don't get me wrong, I know it's more for like kids to be in like their little fantasy world of like Cinderella, but to me the storyline was more just okay. I think it's because I didn't like how they portrayed the live action Cinderella. They were trying to focus it a little bit on the Grims, which I'm like, wait, you can get away with that in a family-oriented movie? Unless it's just me thinking it. And then you were not trying to pull the Grims. But to me, it was kind of close, because I know the whole original stories of each princess, almost. And, and they are pretty dark. And I'm not going to share them all. And this one, Cinderella 2015 version, the live action, I gave a 3.75 star rating. It was just okay. But I just don't like how sad it was. How they made it so sad. I'm sorry, I just don't like sad movies. I never did. So that's why I got a lower rate. This one got a lower rating, and I apologize to the Disney fans out there, but I just don't like crying. I don't. I don't like crying. I get embarrassed when I cry. I find it as a weakness. So, yeah. I don't think I'm going to watch this one again. The next story I devoured in March of 2025 is Dating and Dragons by Christy Boyce, the sequel to Dungeons and Drama. I actually like this one a lot more than I did with the last book. This one got an instant 5 stars. And I did use Libby a lot. I'm supporting my library, so yeah. Definite 5 stars. Highly recommend this duology. I hope she writes more. I would love her to write more of this in the companion as companions. So yeah, highly recommend this duology if you haven't picked it up. The next story I devoured in March of 2025 is Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. I gave this a 5-star rating. I saw that book's been a big talk since when I used to be on TikTok. But now I finally got to read it through my Libby app on my Kindle, and oh my gosh, I loved it. I'm right now on book 2. I can't stop. So yeah, definitely a good read. I highly recommend this book. And I highly recommend book 2 so far. So yeah, 5-star for Icebreaker. The last story I devoured in March of 2025 is Aladdin 2019 live action version on Disney Plus. I like this movie. I remember seeing it in the theater when it came out. I didn't see it the day it came out because it sold out just like that. And I was trying to get my family, like my mom, to go with my mom. And for like 3 weeks, we couldn't see it because every single weekend it was like, bam, sold out, 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 bam, sold out. It's like, okay. So we had to wait till like almost a month to see this movie on a weekend. And we finally got to see it. And it was with a family friend, and it was a great movie. But I would say I originally liked the one with Robin Williams better because I remember being little and my mom introduced me to that one with Robin Williams. So that one will always be a 5-star in my heart. But this one, I'm going to say 4-star. But don't get me wrong, Will Smith did a good job as a genie. And Naomi Scott did a good job as Jasmine. I just think I like the story. I think it's just like I like the plot line of the story. I just like going into movies first not knowing who's going to be in the movie. I like to go in as surprised. So, yeah. And then find out later throughout the movie or after the movie who was in the movie. So, yeah. Other than that, it's a 4-star rating. And that is all I got for you guys today. I thank you for joining me and for me sharing the stories I devoured last month. And I will see you all again soon. Please don't forget to subscribe and press that notification bell down below. And feel free to share a comment as long as it's a positive and nice vibe comment. I don't do negativity. Other than that, I will see you all again soon. Bye.